Alrighty then. Welcome back to another episode of the TNT Podcast. Today we'll be talking about an event that occurred in 1855 in Devon, England.
Devon, England.
Not funny.
Oh, last time we was there was what? Loch Ness Monster? No, wait, that thing where it comes was from there. What?
Yeah.
Okay.
It was started. Give me a second. It had started snowing on February 8th, 1855, and after a heavy snowfall, it stopped snowing that night. The next morning, the citizens awoke to something terrifying. A trail of footprints traveling in a straight line that went through town and out across the countryside. The prints were deer-like, meaning they were cloven hooves.
Deer tracks in the snow.
Yeah.
You know, I used to hunt in the snow. You'd think you could track a deer in the snow, but they go a lot further than you think. You just keep walking
It's
and
not.
walking and walking.
It's not deer.
How do you know?
Watch.
Okay.
The trail. I just ran into the microphone. The trail covered almost 100 miles from beginning to end. Soon the people began calling them the Devil's Footprints. The problem with the prints wasn't necessarily the size. They were 4 inches long and 3 inches wide. The mystery was why we're all in a straight line. Each print was about 8 to 16 inches apart. There was hardly a yard in town and didn't have the tracks crossing it.
Must have been a one-legged deer. Probably went 100 miles because he's looking for a warm spot to lay down, reckon.
Nice theory. Go to the next picture, Einstein.
No. Next picture.
To further the mystery, when the trail arrived at a wall or obstacle, the prints simply stopped and began again on the other side of the obstruction. So, like, they would be on one side of the wall, and then you go to the other side, and they just continue. Like, they're connected. Like, they went through the house.
Like a goat.
Like a ghost.
Yeah.
One wall was 14 feet high. If the prints arrived at a house, the prints could be found on the roof, still traveling straight ahead. At one point, the trail led to a 4-inch pipe where it appeared to enter and continue out to the exit.
So this deer went through a pipe.
It also went on
He
top.
must have been small, go through a 4-inch pipe.
Did you not catch what I just said to you?
What?
The deer tracks were on top of the house, still going in a straight line.
Yeah, I got that. So,
You ain't got anything cool to say about that? That's not awesome? That's not weird?
well, you got to get over it. You got to get over it. Too far to go around. He had to go 100 miles. He had a place to go. Maybe he just walked on top of that pipe. They thought he went through it.
People became afraid to leave their home at night. Some reports stated the prints weren't cloven, but horse-like. The Visar of Kleist George.
The what?
The Visar of Kleist State George, Henry Thomas Ellicombe.
What are you saying?
The Visar
Say
of
it in English.
the Visar of
Let me see that.
hold on. The Visar of Kleist State George, Henry Thomas Ellicombe kept a
Let me see what you're reading.
look. The Visar of Kleist State George Colombe arrived at
Vicar. Vicar.
what is that?
Well, it's something to do with royalty. It's like you got a prince and a princess and a vicar and a king and a queen and a joker and a jester and
And a bishop and all that.
Yeah.
The Vicar of Kleist State George Henry Thomas Ellicombe kept a record of what how'd you say it's pronounced?
Vicar.
The Vicar of Kleist State George Henry Thomas Ellicombe kept a record of what transpired and is the best source of the phenomenon.
Why is he so special?
Vicar? Are you sure?
Yeah.
All right. The Vicar of Kleist State George Henry Thomas Ellicombe kept a record of what
What's his
transpired.
last name?
The Vicar of Kleist State George Henry Thomas Ellicombe.
Ellicombe. Okay.
Yeah, he's the
You say so.
Yeah, the Vicar.
Well, I didn't have to write that name all the way through school.
No,
Have writer's cramp.
the Vicar of isn't part of the name.
Oh, okay. Yeah, but that last name sounds bad enough.
All right. The Vicar of Kleist State George Henry Thomas Ellicombe kept a record of what transpired and is the best source of the phenomenon. He and Reverend Jimmy Musgrove, the Vicar of Withycombe Raleigh, both kept records. And then in the 1950s, why are you sighing?
It's these people.
And I lost my spot. Got it. He and Reverend G.M. Musgrove, the vicar of Withycombe Raleigh, both kept records. Then in the 1950s, Mike Dash published a paper using those records. Go to the next picture.
Who did?
One Mike Dash.
Oh.
Look at that.
Well, he's got 5 legs. He's a starfish.
Skeptics claim there was no way a trail could be followed 100 miles in a single day. Other problems they found were the fact that sometimes the tracks appeared cloven and at other times horse-like. They don't seem to take into account that it was in the snow and some of the tracks were melted or distorted.
Yeah, they obviously weren't truth seekers like you. You truth seekers, you keep the parts of the story that fit you and then you ignore the parts that don't fit in.
That's what y'all do.
Y'all who?
You. Literally a vicar. The vicar of Clive State George Henry Thomas Ellicombe. Those are like high up people are seeing this and are documenting it. And you're like, ain't no way, he's just stupid.
Yeah, that vicar. Leave it to a vicar.
One theory was that the tracks were created by wood mice jumping in the snow. However, it fails to explain how the tracks went over walls and houses. Thomas Fox demonstrated how it couldn't have been rodents due to the depth of the tracks.
Maybe it was a big rat.
No.
We had a gopher rat at work one time, and we were going in the break room, and me and my conductor, and the clerk had the door closed, and the conductor said, "Why you got that door closed?" He said, "A big old gopher rat in there, big black." He said, "We ain't scared no rat over to him." I said, "No." He said, "Yeah, but he's been eating them coffee grounds. They've been throwing coffee grounds in the garbage."
Mm-hmm.
So we go in there, and I'm following Pat. And that thing jumped up on the side of that garbage can, stood straight up, about 12 inches tall, started chattering at us. Yep, he was deaf. It wasn't decal. He scared Pat so bad, Pat turned around and run over me and knocked me plumb out of the room. So, they get big.
But, can they get that big? Look at that thing.
No, I'm saying I ain't never seen no rat look like that. But you just said it was a rat.
That's what so you're agreeing with me that the skeptics are stupid.
No, I ain't agreeing with nothing. I'm just saying,
Hit the next page.
Is that him?
Another one. Another skeptic named Geography Household.
Geography Household?
Yeah.
What?
That's his name.
Let me see that.
Another skeptic named Geography Household.
Geoffrey. Geography. Geoffrey. Sorry, Geoffrey. Hope you're not listening to this. You'll be nicknamed Geography for the rest of your life by your friends.
Another skeptic named Geoffrey Household believed what is it? Jeffrey?
Geoffrey.
Okay. Another skeptic named Geoffrey Household believed a balloon may have come loose. Stop laughing at me. Believed a balloon may have come loose at the Devonport dockyard and the strings bounced along the ground, creating the tracks. However, if it was a balloon, how did it get caught in a tree? Not get caught in a tree or fence. Also, if it was a balloon, how in the heck did the string go that deep?
A balloon making tracks. He's as goofy as you are.
I think you should just stick with geography. Another theory was that a kangaroo had escaped from a house in a nearby town. It was claimed that Mr. Fisty owned a.
Dude, say that again.
I just realized that I did wrong with that one. I looked back at that one and realized I said it wrong.
What'd you?
I called him Mr. Fisty.
Mr. Fisty.
It was claimed that Mr. Fishy. I don't know how to pronounce his name. How do I pronounce this?
What?
It was claimed that a Mr. Fishy owned a kangaroo.
Is it Fisty or Fishy?
I can't tell.
Let me see that. I don't even know where it's where. Oh, Mr. Fish. Fishy. Man.
I thought I've never mispronounced a name on this show.
No,
and it
never.
was like, that was bad, dude.
Yeah, you bad mispronounced that, Mr. Fisty.
Dude, I've never done that before. It was claimed that a Mr. Fish owned a kangaroo, and it was thought to have been his. However, from where Mr. Fish lived, it would have.
Are you okay?
I'm thinking of I keep saying Mr. Fisty at first. However, I've never mispronounced something on this show before.
Oh no!
So it's throwing me off. However, from where Mr. Fish lived, it would have had to cross the river. It was later learned that Reverend Musgrove made up a kangaroo story to stop the madness of people blaming the devil.
Yeah, don't blame the devil. Blame a kangaroo. Boy, these Englishmen, they're not too right on it.
Just shift the blame on Mr. Fish.
Yeah, Mr. Fisky.
A man named Richard Owen claimed the tracks were made by a hungry badger. He was never able to prove how a badger could make the tracks, though.
A horny badger. Yep, only a horny badger would come out in that weather.
Hit the next
You know
page.
what they say, when a man needs a woman, man needs a woman.
Hit the next page.
Look at the butt cheeks on the devil. He's got his hay fork on his shoulder. He's got a bifurcated tail. Looks like he would be melting the snow when he walks.
Can you stop? It wasn't the first or last time the strange prints appeared. In 1840, another set of devil footprints appeared in the mountains of Scotland. The newspaper at the time claimed it was a huge animal because of the depth of the print in the snow. This trail went for 12 miles.
And the devil came from Scotland, where our ancestors came from?
Yeah.
I bet our ancestors didn't get scared of no devil. They probably scared the devil out of the mountains and into England.
That's what I think.
Yeah.
Also in 1840, a doctor in Poland noted that the same tracks had appeared in Piaskowska Góra in Poland.
Where?
Piaskowska Góra in Poland.
Say that 5 times.
Piaskowska Góra, Piaskowska Góra, Piaskowska Góra, Kaskaskin Góra, Pikanisko... Never mind.
That'll work.
He claimed it happens quite often when it snows there. The prints were seen in Scotland again in 2013. There's yet to be a satisfactory explanation for what caused these tracks. And with that, we enter discussion time.
This one was the easiest one you've ever done for me to solve.
Go ahead.
I got the explanation for it.
Yeah?
Well, it was a gopher rat riding on a horny badger, using a balloon to get over the walls.
You're going to use Mr. Geoffrey's...
Mr. Geography.
You're going to use his explanation.
Yes. Some of it.
I think... You want to know what I think?
What?
I think the devil went to Scotland and was deciding to mess with people. So he walked.
Who did?
Because think about it. Hang on, wait. By looking at this and saying, it's the devil, he would cause paranoia that would be sinful. Because it's sinful to fear. So the devil came to Scotland, to England.
Well, that wouldn't have been the devil. His tail would have been dragging around.
You saying his tail's longer than that?
Yeah.
How long is the devil's tail?
Well, I guess you better ask Siri.
Hey, Siri. Hey, Siri. Hey, Siri. Hey, Siri.
Are you home?
Hey, Siri.
Can you come out and play?
Hey, Siri. Hey, Siri. Hey, Siri.
How long's the devil's
Hey,
tail?
how long is the devil's tail?
Okay, I found this on the web. For how long is the devil's tail? Check it out.
The devil's tail, 2021. No. Hey, Siri.
2021 feet long.
How long is the how long is the devil's tail? Not the movie. The real Hey, Siri. Hey, Siri. How long is the devil's tail? But not the devil not the movie devil, the devil. No, Siri, not the movie, the actual devil, like the devil guy, like the devil in religion. How
Ask her how long's Lucifer's tail.
how long is Satan's tail? Hey, Siri.
You don't want to talk about
How
that.
long is Satan's tail? The devil's tail. No!
What did it say?
It's giving me a movie called The Devil's Tail.
I guess you have to watch a movie to see how long it is.
Do I have to watch a movie to see how long the devil's tail is? Hey, Siri. How long is the devil's tail that walked across the snow in England?
You just confusing her.
The devil's footprint on Wikipedia. I didn't...
There you go.
Forget it.
Forget.
So,
Okay.
what did we learn?
What do I think?
What do you think?
Well, now the weird part.
There's a lot of
when
weird...
he gets to a wall, he just goes through it.
He goes over it. And through it.
And when he gets to a house, he goes over.
And
When he gets to a pipe,
he goes through it.
he scrunches down and goes through it. Part of me wants to give us a low rating, and part of me says it couldn't have been rats.
That made no sense.
I mean, they said it could be mice jumping.
I told you I'd
How
get
do
a
they
10.
go 100 miles overnight?
Yeah.
That's one wound out rat. He might have been eating on them coffee grounds too, reckon. Took some with him so he'd get another boost every time he start wearing out, another caffeine rush.
Something like that.
I'm gonna give this one a 5.
You can give it a 5?
Yeah, because I had read something about this before, and it was too weird.
What was it?
What was what?
Wait, you've heard about this before I even talked about it? You didn't mention that to me?
No, I didn't want to tell you, but I have heard of this one before. I read it in a book when I was a kid.
What'd you read?
What I read?
What'd you hear?
Same thing you just told me.
So.
About it coming to walls and stuff.
Yeah.
And you can't explain that with rats.
Nope. Rats can't do that.
But do I think it was Lucifer himself? No.
That's what Siri said.
Siri said it wasn't him.
Siri said it was him.
It was him. How'd she know? Was she there?
No, but she's a robot. She knows.
Anyway, I'm going to give you a 5. That right there is pretty interesting.
A
I like
5?
that. Yeah.
Highest
Give me a 5.
ranking in the past who knows how many episodes. Let me get that out of the way. I guess you could
So
say
you're happy now?
I guess you could say I'm just getting better with every episode.
Yeah, it says a man that had 2 2s and a 1.
Gotta say, I think I'm just getting I think it's like I'm improving. Like every
TNT out
every
before
script I write,
his
it's
melon
like,
head swells
you know,
up
just-
some more.
I think it's like